Dr. Gilda. Thanks for stopping
I am
by,
so
and
happy
you
to
have a
be here.
story for us.
Yes, I do. It happens to me almost every day because I'm doing media interviews almost every day. And somebody out there may have to do an interview to get a job or a new career or enter a school or be accepted by a program of some kind, whatever it is. People are interviewing us constantly, and you have to keep that in mind because wherever you turn, somebody's watching. Somebody's always watching us. In New York, I would walk down the street with my hairdresser and he'd say, "Do you see that?" I'd say, "No, see what?" He said, "That guy was taking your photo." And I said, "Well, that's typical." But all of us are in that limelight today without recognizing it. People are always taking photos, noticing who we are, not because we are famous with the paparazzi, but because people are photographing everything. So, what happens when you know you're going to have to talk about X, Y, and Z? They give you a list of questions that they'll probably cover. And then you get in, you say hi, they say hi, and they say, "So tell me about P, Q, and R." But you had prepared for X, Y, and Z. Okay, first lesson. If you feel uncomfortable, it will show. If you show discomfort, that's looked upon and read as insecurity. If you are insecure, they are not going to want to hire you or put you in the position that you thought you were going into. Therefore, how do you prepare for this? Yes, prepare those XYZ questions that you thought you were going to get. But keep in mind, PQR questions may come up. And then you have to show more than anything else. You have to show that you are professional and able to pull rabbits out of hats. And how do you do that? Well, first of all, there's a difference between competence and confidence. What do you think's most important, Neil? Competence or confidence?
Confidence.
You're right. It is. It's confidence because confidence shows. Now, when you are talking to somebody, the impact that you make one on one, eyeball to eyeball, is 55% your body language. Then 38% of what you're saying depends upon your vocal intonations. So if you're talking like this in a monotone voice, the other person, the recipient of your information is probably sleeping. So you have to be colorful and excited about what you're talking about. Because if you're not excited about what you're talking about, you're not going to get anybody else excited. So you demonstrate major confidence. Let's say you don't know about this topic that they bring up out of the blue. There's nothing wrong in saying, I don't know about that, but that's an interesting question. Let me get back to you on that. And then you have another opportunity for interface again. Just like you don't carry your resume into a meeting. You don't carry your resume around with you all the time. Why? Because you need an excuse for a second meeting. So even if I'm sending you my resume, that's the excuse that you're looking for additional interface to remind them that you are so sensational, they don't want to let you go. So there are all these tricks. And you say, "Well, I don't know about XYZ." Ah, but you know how to find information. And they're more interested in how you find information than anything else. How dedicated you are and how conscientious you are to get that information and get it to them ASAP. Therefore, bottom line, everybody's watching you. Remember the old song, Who's Zooming Who? It's an old song. But everybody's watching us all the time. And everybody is looking for that one stumble. And then they're going to kick you out of the running for whatever it is. That's how we make our decisions. You have 10 people who come to see you for a sales job. You say, oh, this one is this out. This one is this out. This one is this out. And then you're left with a handful of wonderful candidates. So they're looking to find fault. Don't give them the opportunity. Always enunciate and project your confidence because even if you have three PhDs, your confidence carries you more than your competence.
Hmm.
Adios.
See, that is very interesting, because I agree with you. And I listen to what you're saying about confidence, about how you present yourself, and how quickly the first impression is your lasting impression of somebody.
And
And
they
if
usually make
you
that within 30 seconds.
and as a New Yorker, you make
Oh,
that in 10 seconds.
yeah, right. Yeah,
You're going
but
to look at things. We were looking at LinkedIn profiles today just to show, you know, some of the people and how they need to improve their LinkedIn. It would be a great podcast interview to just go in and say, let's look at everyone's LinkedIn because your LinkedIn professional profile, which I know mine, I have 25,000 connections and I don't need to update it, but I should, especially with some of my new accomplishments. But we have to take the time and where we look. I brought this up all the time about, let's say, being on camera. Uh, you make sure you have good lighting. You make sure you have a professional mic, and you make sure you don't aren't talking about nothing, and you're in good shape. One of my clients said, I was on a podcast you booked me on, and it was absolutely horrible because I had no idea, and I just know how better we are. And I said, it's just because that's what people think. You know, we used to put things on broadcasts, like the whole cable access stuff.
right. Oh my
Same
God.
thing. Oh,
Oh,
that's a train wreck.
that was terrible.
Writing.
Yeah.
I once was on this interview for cable access, but I produced some cable access shows, and they were train wrecks till I started producing them.
Well,
I
they
mean,
would,
they get everything the cable access people. I mean,
well, sure.
and you're
They'll
like,
accept anybody on. It doesn't make a difference.
you can breathe, you're okay.
Yes, right. Breathing counts.
So what I would do, my recommendation after this whole story is go pick somebody that you want to emulate, someone you really follow, and you try to look at specifically how close can I get to production quality, verbiage. It was very interesting. First time I ever did a radio show, I was listening to somebody and they said, are you listening to the people all the time and listening to the media? And I started doing it. And I'm like, oh, this is how you do things. I take a lot of my skill from listening to Sean Hannity, driving from work every day, Mike and Mike in the morning, all Howard Stern, and I try to put a mixture of all those personas in
Those
the
are
way I
very
speak.
different personas.
Yeah,
Sean, I mean, I've known Sean for a lot of years. Sean is a showman. So is Howard. I've been on his show. So is he, but a different kind of showman.
I like Dan Patrick too.
I haven't heard him. I know who
Dan
he is.
Pat,
I know
yeah,
who he is.
Dan Patrick, Mike in the morning show. I did get to interview Mike Goldberg. I mean Green. I mean Golick, but I did not get to interview Mike Greenberg. And I mean, they're like truly what I used to listen to all the time. And their ability, one of the things about dead air, that's why as a podcaster, I can't stand when people go to dead air. Because
No,
guess what? You would be fined by the FTC if you FCC, whatever. I said the FTC, the FCC, whatever
FCC.
the damn, but you'd be fine. They told us this when I was on college radio. If you said that, you could be fined from just what I just did. So I'm like, I don't understand how people don't treat.
Well, there's a big difference about how things have changed. In the past, if you read a script, it was okay. Nobody cared. If you read from a prompter, it was okay. Now everybody wants natural. They want you to stumble. They want you to sneeze. They want you to, I mean, and everything possible that could have happened on live television has happened to me. I walked out of a shoe. I mean, I had two shoes that were different colors that I put on in the morning. I had a coughing jag on live, a newscast. It went on. I thought it would never end. I mean, everything. My nose was dripping. I had to grab out a tissue. That looks attractive. But everything that has happened for a reason. And this gets back to my Gildagram. Whatever happens to you happens for you. Now that's your job to figure out what is that for? Why is this happening to me right now? What am I supposed to learn from it? Instead of this whole victimization that our whole culture is into these days, oh my God, why this happened to me? Poor me, woe is me, I'm a victim. This is my wound. Instead of that, say, okay, this happened. What is my lesson here? What am I supposed to learn from that? Because it is only through our wounding that we are going to be able to progress to the next step, that much wiser and that much more capable because we've gone through those dark tunnels and come out into the light. Hallelujah, sister.
All right. drgilda.com. Appreciate it. That was a special simulcast of the Neil